Hello, everyone, and happy 1st of December, the beginning of the last month of this year. I'm so excited to be here with you and share some thoughts and ideas and insights with this very special co creation partner with me today, with whom we will be doing some beautiful things together. Excited to be sharing with you from our experience as transformational coaches, stories, thoughts, ideas, some challenges. So, Steve, how are you feeling co creating with me today? Our first live broadcast.
Absolutely. It's a long time coming, Iskra.
Yeah.
We've been talking about all sorts of transformational collaborations for quite a while. And we even spoke recently about the timing of things, how we've planted seeds back in the past and it's just been a bit of a time gap, but actually when we reflect on our own journeys, it feels like it's a perfect timing. We're both going through such transformations together or individually, but through our own journeys, and it just feels like such a great time. And I reached out to you and you said that you were thinking about doing the same. So this is what I love, and this is always the conversations I love having with you as well.
Yeah, this is so beautiful. Like the synchronicities, the parallel thinking and feeling, and the experiences that we have been sharing together and also with our audiences. And I really love that we're driven by offering value to our communities, to our different communities, to the private communities and small communities, as well as to our broader audiences. And that's why we decided to start offering also to create this platform to offer these conversations so that you, our audience, our viewers, can join us by asking questions, by tuning in. Feel free to message us privately, or if it's not really comfortable to be sharing publicly in the spaces in the different social media. But we are here for you because we have this calling to elevate, to raise the vibration, to bring more of our inner power, of our inner wisdom, of our inner light, to start creating more light in our small spheres of influence, and together, joining our small bubbles, we can create something bigger, a tangible impact, a tangible result. And this is what we have been doing in the space that Steve has created. I've been attending his weekly sessions for about, I don't know, 3, 4 years already. It's
Yeah.
made massive impact on me, on my personal growth. I have been holding similar spaces to other impact makers, coaches and healers and therapists. And here we are, also open to hear from you about the topics and challenges that you're going through. So if you have any idea that you want us to cover, an idea of topic, feel free to share below in the comments or send it to us. But today, what are we going to talk about today, Steve?
Well, we were talking yesterday on the group call that we were doing together, and it was just so cool because the common topic that we speak about is change. Really, change is one of the most common things that we speak about. It's one of the most common things that I see anyone that I work with struggle with, and that involves letting go of the past. That involves letting go of people, places, things, ideas, beliefs, all of this sort of stuff. And I've never seen, especially in my life, I've never experienced so many transitions. I've done this many times over the years. I'm not afraid of change at all. And yet, right now, in the last couple of months, I've been going through probably one of the biggest, in fact, this whole year, and the people I speak with, including yourself, it's been a bizarre year. There's been a lot of challenges, and it's not even been the fastest year for me necessarily. And so it's been quite baffling for me to go through this, but this is what excites me, because my work is all about transforming energy, transforming my perceptions and beliefs about myself and life. And even though it's not been that fast speed wise, it's been quite big and heavy. And I think that's just because my intuitions basically said you've reached a certain level in your life and now it's time to shift. And this isn't just, oh, moving on from one area of life to the next. This is, for me, my experience has been pretty much every single area of my life has been uprooted in the last few months. And it's been bizarrely challenging. But because of my love and willingness to address these things and look at it straight in the face and transform myself as I go, that's where I often find working with the people I work with. That's where I find the magic is, because when I go through that, it creates a doorway for other people to work with me. And then and it allows them that energy, that space, whatever it is that sort of I've created for myself, it sort of allows them to step into that space.
Coming back to this concept of the challenges that accompany the transitioning into new identity, this is huge. I remember myself when I was transitioning from being a film producer and being established in my industry and published in the industry media, and then all of a sudden I have to start as a newbie coach. I have to find a way to talk about the things that really are dear to my heart, to show my spirituality, to talk about my emotions, to speak vulnerably, because this is what I want to show my clients. So I have to lead by example. This is so hard. And it's not the only one thing. We have to reset our set of values, our communication styles. We have to be mindful of the people, of our physical environments. Who are we connecting with? Who is our support system? There's so many things. It's so multi-layered, and it's not easy. And that's why we're not offering a one-off conversation here. We will be touching upon different aspects, different topics, different challenges, different questions, so that we can bring together and create this puzzle and this texture. And we are opening up to be co-creating with you, with our audience, because this is what I personally feel. I am a co-creator. Co-creation is one of my personal core values, and I need my audience to help me, to hold space for me to channel some ideas that not necessarily my ideas. They're ideas that are present in the collective field, but through you, through your energy, through your participation. That's why I love to be co-creating with Steve here, because we are mirroring each other, sending this ball of the communication between each other, touching different surfaces, and beautiful things emerge. As Steve said, we're not planning, but we are being playful and allowing things to emerge, allowing things to manifest, and inviting, being curious about what is it, what will be present, and also allowing ourselves to be surprised. Sometimes I personally say things and then I'm surprised by the things that come out, because it's like a new concept. I haven't thought about it before, and it's just something that makes sense, make things having sense, some things that were obscure before that. Do you feel like similarly, Steve? Is your process of bringing concepts out very different, or you have
when
having similarities?
when we're in these group calls, I totally resonate, because that's the magic, right? You have a group full of people. I believe we find ourselves there for a reason. And the reason I believe that is because of these years of doing these calls, right? And the synchronicities based on the challenges that we're going through. Like you said, it tends to come up. We often just share about what is it that you're going through, and somebody will just share about, say, some transition they're going through, excuse me, in life. And then somebody else will share after that and go, oh my God, I can't believe that you're going through something similar. I'm going through this. And then it starts to almost fuel a bucket of this energy. And I really resonate with what you said then, because that's where sometimes I will say something or you will say something that you weren't necessarily expecting. And from experience, I feel that that comes from that collective energy. Have you heard that sort of concept? You have, that's what masterminds are all about, right? Masterminds, you get one mind, two minds, you create a third mind within that space, and obviously other people would create this sort of bubble and this invisible collective energy, and it's almost like you're speaking through that, and that's this collective wisdom. There's information that I've never thought of. The amount of times I've said, I've never thought of this before, and I'm just going to share what comes up because I have no idea what I'm about to say. And and it's beautiful because it's also, when I'm sharing it, it might be interesting to somebody else, yet we all know, including myself, that it's like, this is first for me as well. This is the first time I'm hearing this, and I know it's because we're all here together. I probably wouldn't have had this thought on my own if I was just sitting there. Something beautiful happens there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also love our favorite saying that this was the best session the
Every
yet.
time.
Every time this is the
Every time.
conclusion, like the best session yet. And it's because of that, because we are all brave, because we are all courageous, because we're all playing full in, because we are all vulnerable and so honest. And this is what allows for the new ideas to be born. No one is keeping things for themselves, and it's pure magic, as you already said. So today, on the verge, we are already the first day of the last month of the year. This is a transition. It's a bit forced transition because it's man-made end of one month and the beginning of the new month. But psychologically, this impacts us. We know that something ended. We know that something new is coming up. It's starting, but we're also getting very close to the end of the year. So, what are the things that we could share with our audience today to prepare them and make it a smoother transition? Usually, the holiday festivities, and there are many different holidays through the different spiritual traditions. So we're not mentioning one or another. So all these festivities may overload our nervous systems, may overload our mental space, because there is so much to go through, completing or closing and planning. And you already mentioned setting goals, and it will be too much, and sometimes our bodies just choose to shut down, like my knee decided to stop me from walking or traveling last week. And I see it happening for so many other people. And even someone asked me, what's going on? And we were talking, what is in the air, why there is so much troubles, why people are getting ill, why people are hurting themselves. It looks like something is in the air making people have accidents. But I believe that this is not the reason. I believe that we've been overworking ourselves, pushing through to make closure to processes that we have started, to the fiscal year, to the plans that we had created to achieve our goals. So what is a different approach? And I know that we know it, and I know that some of you, our audience, you also know it. But let's share our experiences, let's share our wisdom, and together we're also creating some toolkit that could be of use, and we can enrich each other's perspectives and experiences.
I'd love to hear what other people say about this, actually, because it's such a fascinating topic. There's so many things just came to mind. It's bombarded with thoughts and memories of just things that have happened recently. And you mentioned about a physical situation for yourself. Your knee. A few months ago, I had what manifested as a pain in my back, to the point where there was some days where I could barely get out of bed. And I'm really flexible, healthy. I'm totally cool all the time. And so this was what I realized, and I knew it at the time. I didn't know what the message was, but I knew there was a message in that somewhere, because this pain wouldn't come out of nowhere. And I realized that this body sensation was trying to teach me a lesson. And that lesson was, it was my intuition basically saying, you know, you've got to move on. You know, you're not in the right place anymore. You know, this environment that you're in has just served its purpose. It's neither good or bad. It's just served its purpose. You've changed as a person. You need to move on to the next thing. And so during this transition, there was parts of me that wasn't fully acknowledging it. This time frame that I had to go through in order to make all these shifts. And while that was happening, each decision I made to make a real, you know, when you make a real clear decision and everything opens up. Well, it's like every time I made one of these clear decisions and I maybe sent a message to somebody or a letter here or just made a decision, I noticed that something would shift in the back, and it would just get easier and easier. Every step I took with this transition, it happened. I just left a country, Estonia. I've been there for a couple of years, and you know, as soon as I left, I've come to the UK. I'm just here for a few weeks. Then I'm moving on again next week. I am absolute zero pain at all. As soon as I made those decisions and made the actual physical, environmental, geographical move, it completely shifted. And you know, that wasn't surprising to me, but it was just a nice reminder that these are the kinds of things that can come up. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because you spoke about, say, the holiday coming up. Now, there is something psychological, as you said, about this. It's the end of the year. It's 2023. It's going to be 2024 next year, and you know, everyone's classically do this New Year's resolution and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
really, there's something about that. That's cool. But there's something that's really missing about, you know, it's just setting your goals just for the next year and just doing that. Like I'm all for it, but there's this thing of there's no time when it comes to your own development, and so we've just got to be prepared to make these transitions no matter what time of year. You know, we're always
Yeah.
going to be prepared for that. And so we've got to learn to listen to our bodies, our intuition, shift our beliefs, energy, perspectives, all of that sort of stuff. And so that we can transform every step of the way and not wait for these peak moments where, you know, society tells us this is the time to do X, this is the time to do Y. It doesn't work like that. Life's not linear like this. So this is where our conversations really come into play, and that's why we're doing these programs, is to go through this as a and deal with it in the present moment, moment by moment, and really just master that flow. Because really, once you've had a bit of experience and feedback in a short space of time as well, you know, it's life transforming for forever, really, because you've really rewired yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, fascinating, really fascinating. I love I love how you put it out, that we have this freedom to be making choices at any point of time, not at the beginning or at the end of the circle, because it's not a fixed end, it's an ongoing. I don't know whether you resonate with this metaphor, a spiral or a spring or any other visual metaphor or model of growth. For some people, it might be growing into a different dimension. I personally resonate with going upwards and maybe wider, but of course, we have the shrinking, like with every process in nature, in life, we have the expansion and we have the contraction, and we can choose any micro or macro cycle to be resetting our minds, to be setting a new intention. And I personally don't like to set goals, and I speak a lot about it in my programs, and I'm sure that in the programs that we are creating together, and we're not going to reveal more details now because we want you to keep on staying in touch with us and following our weekly show. I talk about setting an intention and shooting it into the universe. I use this martial arts concept of rooting into the ground and putting the whole energy where you want to throw your energy or your opponent when you are in a combat. So this has helped me a lot in my personal life. Use it to put the intention out, and then let universe support it, which is very different from setting fixed goals. So being present in the moment, being alive, for me goes against setting goals, because the goals are rigid, they're fixed, and the next moment when I grow and when I evolve, they're not might not be anymore aligned with me. But this is a subject for a different conversation. Coming back to the,
Maybe.
to the topic of maybe to the
Maybe you've just set my mind off, so I don't know. Maybe we can continue on this.
yeah. uh, Coming back to the transition and to the changes, I would suggest that you listen to the body, you listen to the mind, you listen to your emotions, and get to understand. We encourage you, we invite you to get to know yourself better, because the truth is in you. The principles, the techniques, the approaches that are valid for you, that are helpful for you, only you know them. There are so many examples around you, there are so many trainings, videos, courses, programs, mentors, gurus, coaches, inspirational speakers that you can choose to follow. But we encourage you to do it only to mirror and check what resonates with you, and you, it is helpful, at least it's been helpful for me, to pick up something from here, to extract something from there with deep gratitude, but finally to make it work for me in my original way. Because there is, we're unique human beings, no one is like the other one. We have some similarities, we have part of our packaging that looks or feels the same, but it's just our way to be touching with each other, our spheres of existence, to have a communication, to create a common language. But there is so much more than that, so much beyond, and so much underneath. We're simply expressing some things to be able to move together through life, but we are, each one of us is a huge universe on our own. So collect the tools that work for you, share with us what resonates with you from our conversation, from the ideas that we're sharing with us. Enrich the space by sharing yours back. And I believe that we can all grow together, and we can all make, as I said before, our personal worlds a bit bigger, a bit richer, a bit more colorful, a bit more pleasant and joyful. And we are learning from you, you're learning from us, we're learning from ourselves. It's an ongoing process, and we can choose to make it fun, to make it exciting, and to be a cozy place of exploration. So we could continue forever, I feel, but maybe it's time to finish for now. We wish you, what do we wish you for the month of December, Steve?
Intuition is on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to, just wrap up what you were just sharing around that, and just that the energy. Like you said, there is more than enough information out there. There are more than enough teachers, coaches, great stuff everywhere. And so, it's just learning to or just listening to that intuition, that energy. Is that the connection that I want, whatever it is, whether it's meeting a new person, a new opportunity, the goals, the intentions, when you even think about them, just getting that sense. I love leading with life. Leading with that energy of the heart, so to speak, where it's just kind of listening to that rather than logic all the time, and I think that's amazing. And when you're in a group or a community where people are transforming, it's beautiful when you have this. If somebody here is transforming really fast and you're connected with these people, this person here feels that transformation, And rather than this competitive thing, I need to beat you, or even like I feel that you're disappearing from me. It's almost just like you just know that somehow it drives you forward, and somehow the other people then join them, and then they'll increase their transformation, so to speak, and their vibration changes, their outlook changes, and it inspires the next person, and so it becomes this thing where everyone's just uplifting each other, right? And so that is, it just makes me realize how those are the kinds of relationships that I've realized is so important, and being in that environment is just the best place to be. And I just love to hear what other people have to say around this topic. I know we haven't really been able to dive too deep into some of the, some more stories or some more ideas, but maybe we can do that again soon, and based on some of the things that others share that they're going through, because I'm always loving to find out what that is.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this, Steve. And I hope that our viewers will take us on this invitation to share your stories, to share your points of view, to share about your experiences, to share your favorite tools, and how are you planning to go through the month of December? How are you planning to make next month, next year, next 2 months, next trimester a time of better self-expression, a time for better or deeper self-connection? And we can always say we want to go bigger and wider, but sometimes we need to go more still and more quiet, and take the time for to connect with ourselves, take the time to rest, to integrate the things that we've been learning. As we both mentioned, there is so much information out there, but maybe we don't need this anymore. Maybe we need more attention to our internal world and to the closest people around us. So pick up what works for you right now. For some of you, maybe it's the time for expansion. For some of you, maybe it's the time to get small and quiet and take your time and take your space. Listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, and also allow the mind to be one of the counselors that is trusted. Do not neglect one or another. Integrate them, and again, do it in a way that is truthful to you. So we are grateful for you being here with us, and we will share in the coming days what will be the frequency of our live conversation here with Steve. And when you connect with us, and when you start tuning in, you will hear more. As we said in the beginning, we are open to suggestions, to recommendations, for topics, for questions. And we will be also sharing about the exciting programs that we are creating now with Steve. So, from my heart to yours, much love. And we will see you very soon around. Have a beautiful month of December and a beautiful internal time. As Steve was saying in the beginning, your time felt like slowing down. Maybe for some of you, the time is speeding up. So trust your inner speed, trust your inner space and your inner process. And we're here to support you.